Working out hard every day to be the best I can. I shoot it to the right, shoot it to the left, hunker down low and reach high to the sky. I got my rhythm down pat, so they say. I'm looking like a winner in every way. So when I hear somebody say, what a horse, I know they're talking about me, of course. And I'm gonna be in that winner's circle someday. Yeah, I'm a prime example of a Tennessee walker, a high-stepping, fast-walking Tennessee talker. I'm gonna be in that winner's circle someday.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this edition of What a Horse. I got a good name for it.
What?
Abuse inflicted upon the walking horse by the USDA.
That sounds wonderful.
This is going to be an eye-opener for the saddlebred people. They're going to see what we go through as soon as you do your thing.
We'll be right back after these messages.
Welcome to where the 5 to 9 more than makes up for the 9 to 5. To where you check your troubles, along with your coat. And days are made, even at 10 at night. Welcome to the best time you've ever had, since the last time you were here. To old friends, new experiences, and forgotten cares. Welcome to where life moves at the speed of you. Welcome to Sam's Town Tunica Hotel and Gambling Hall by Boyd. Welcome to where you want to be.
Instead of telling you about an affordable communication service that will save you money for a rainy day, I'm going to let one of my clients from Columbia Dental Group tell you all about Host My Services.
You're not losing any service, your phone calls, you don't drop any calls, have any issues at all. They have the app where if you have an off-site person, they just have the app on their phone, they can use it from there. Like, you should definitely get a quote, because even buying a whole new phone system is cheaper than what you're going to pay for with Verizon or AT&T or anybody else through them. And the quality is great.
Just the customer service.
Customer service, I talked to him.
There's two things to remember when checking out Host My Communication Services. Number one is free analysis of your current communication costs. Number two is there's no capital outlay for the equipment. Two great reasons to call 931-581-4411 today and start saving for that rainy day.
People in Tennessee are starting a movement.
Ouch. Thank you.
To clean up the litter on our roadways. Litter hurts our environment and endangers wildlife, and it affects our quality of life.
Here, grab me. Thank you.
Help keep our state litter-free.
Let's roll.
Visit NobodyTrashes.Tennessee.com and be a part of the solution to end littering.
Saving the best for last.
That's right. Nobody trashes Tennessee.
Folks, this is where you send money to help in the legal fund to combat the new proposed rulemaking that the USDA released here a couple weeks ago. This is tax-deductible donation as fast as a 501c3, and be sure to put legal fund on your memo line, as this guarantees that your money goes exactly where you want it to go.
All right, welcome back. I do want to remind everybody that we do have some jewelry left. Real nice pieces, got a fantastic bracelet, but very limited, but I do have some left. I'm checking today about getting some ring sized for a gentleman. But this bracelet right here is
oh, that's a wonderful looking bracelet right there.
I wish I could afford it. I really do. And we got a big sale coming too. Big Dave and them, they always do a great job.
Oh yeah, they do a wonderful job out there selling horses.
Now, they do. You cannot, but it's out on the Highway 64 just stop in there and take a look. It's going to be something else. They always do a good job.
Yes.
The whole time. Dave, Mike Tibbs, these two guys work together, and both of them got wives that help them.
Yeah.
That's when they support them. So that's always a good sale. You can buy just about anything out there.
Yep, you're right.
I might
Looking for
consign
good,
you.
Mike, looking for good trail riding horses and stuff like that.
That's it too. We both go out there. See if they'll let us auctioneers up.
That's right.
Buy our services. We will be there. Also, I've got a red alert. This is a red alert. Red Alert won the Horse of the Year for the Breeders Association this year. And I'm here to tell you, Dan Waddell does a fantastic job for George and Kim Lewis. And I watched Kim on this horse. She is, dead on, buddy. She gets it done. That's a good horse. Horse of the Year. That's a great award.
That's a good horse right there.
Beautiful too. Good size. And Kim, I'm gonna tell you, Kim Lewis can flat ride. Bar none, she can flat ride. She will get it ready. Congratulations.
That's Kim Lewis, the rider from Newville, Alabama.
That's a pretty horse.
Oh, it is a real pretty horse.
Beautiful color.
Yeah.
Well deserved award, Kim. Congratulations. Well deserved. Now, as I said, we're going to, and we're going to be very blunt, very honest, and everything that I say, we can back up with video or even in print. But at one time, there was a need for the walking horse industry to have the Horse Protection Act, and we know that. We had horses that were out, they skint, rubbed during training. We know that, and we addressed that. And that's what the walking horse industry has never been given credit for. It has gone from that being what caused it to we can't get a horse in the ring looking like this now.
Yes.
Now there was 29 horses taken in 2016 that got scar rows. 58 autopsies, no scars at all. So that's where we're at now. We went from what was needed to where, well, there's no more scars, so we're going to make them up. And it's just what the USDA is trying to do and trying to convince everybody's right is take everything away from us when what they're wanting to take through studies after study after study, even their own studies that they had done, say the pad and the action device do no harm to the horse.
Yes.
But this is where we're at now. This is what we're fighting. And this is what the saddlebreds and the other industries out here with gaited horses need to realize that it's not the sore horse they're after. They're after the horse. They don't want anybody to be on a horse.
Yes, you're right.
They don't even want them shod. This is some people, and I don't think the saddlebred people really understand that. But we're going to show a few videos that, number one, I'm going to show you our walking horse and what it's capable of doing. From flat shod, you put the flat shod shoe on him, keg shoe or whatever, and we're going to walk you through it. Watch this video.
We want the legs on the same side to move at the same time. But what we do is through the timing on this mare, on getting her to a more vertical head set, combined with our shoeing, we want that 2-beat lateral gait, which is referred to as a pace, to turn it into a 4-beat gait, which the back foot on the same side hits the ground just, if you notice the head shake, the bending of the knee, stepping off the ground from the forehand, and the front leg going forward, we call that reach. And then you really see this horse engage her hindquarters and use that crooked, so to speak, back leg to stride up under her. We never want the gait to change. We always want the horse shaking its head, using the forehand, and engaging the hindquarters. It doesn't matter what division, the greater the animation that the horse possesses, then the increase in the division. And we also want to see that increase in that head shake. And that's a 2-ounce action device. And that's it. Keep going. Nice and easy flat walk. Come on up, Susan. Turn her loose a little bit. Come on up. Now, right there. Got any questions about any processes or procedures involved with the Tennessee walking horse? Dr. Bond will be the ideal person to ask. Now we have a 6-ounce chain on this mare. Good, Susan. Right there. Keep coming. Work with the pads and the action devices on. That head set more vertical and upward. We really see the angle of the placement of the neck and the shoulder working together right there to give us that placement. And really being the show horse that has become infamous with our padded horse or our performance horse that we see in the show ring.
Shows natural ability.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
all it is. That was done out in front of everybody that was there to watch. It was videoed. We even videoed, we didn't show it, but we videoed them changing the shoes. From that, we ran into a situation to where the government, when they would inspect, they couldn't get the horse to move normally, so they used another way. Now, we have an inspection process, and we're fixing to show it now. And after that, we're going to show you the way that they use to make the horses move. But let's show the full inspection process from start to finish.
Upon entering the DQP inspection area, the handler gives the horse's back number and class number for which he's been entered. The first part of the inspection process is demography, looking for any abnormal heat patterns. The second part of this procedure is referred to as swabbing, otherwise known as gas chromography. Looking for the application of any foreign substances, the pastern areas will be swabbed in each area, the back, the sides, and the front. Each pastern area is swabbed independently. The second part of the inspection process, the horse is led in front of the DQP, directed to do a figure 8 around 2 cones. The DQP himself monitors the horse's movement, so the horse maintains free and easy movement at all times. Then the horse is directed to the DQP inspector and his process begins. Always with the left foreleg. The inspector will palpate the tendon area and then move to the rear pastern of the horse's ankle. Then the foreleg is moved forward in front of the horse, and the inspector checks for any sensitive areas on the sides and the front. Then the inspector will move over to the right foreleg and begin the same process again. It's after this inspection by the DQP that the VMO, or the USDA veterinarian, will step in. He'll monitor the horse's movement around this same figure 8 pattern. Then the horse is directed back to the VMO for his process of inspection to begin. The final stage of the DQP inspection process, the horse is led over to perform x-rays on each foreleg, again beginning with the left leg and then proceeding to the right to check for any rotation in the coffin bone. Upon being cleared in all these different areas of the inspection process, the horse is directed to the warm-up area, and then the process begins to prepare the horse for competition.
that is the process that we go through. We don't have to do the x-rays every time, but we do a lot of other, we've done thermography, we've done the swabbing, we do all of this.
Yes.
And it leads to nothing but when it comes down to inspecting, and we seen them palpate the horse. I watched them try to palpate a quarter horse, and he laid down. He wouldn't have no part of it. But we've got a video of a veterinarian, Dr. Stephen Mullins, showing exactly how some of the VMOs will use the nerves of the horse. That's what always got me.
Oh, yeah.
If they're sore, why do you have to cheat to create the illusion that the horse is sore?
Sore, yeah.
So let's let people see this.
My name's Dr. Stephen L. Mullins. I'm a 1980 graduate of Auburn University School of Veterinary Medicine. I've been in equine practice since 1980. I've been a member of the AAP since 1980, maybe even since 1978 when I was still a student. I was a head of show from 2009 to 2012 at Show HIO. I was trained by the USDA to be a DQP and to train my other DQPs. Here we see a VMO inspecting a horse. She's checking the posterior part of the foot. You can see right here she's using the end of her thumb. She's not using the meaty part of her thumb like the Horse Protection Act regulations say to use. You can see her right here. She'll use the end of her thumb and press down against the collateral cartilage, and she's hitting the posterior branch of the palmar digital nerve. She's using the end of her thumb, which is not the proper technique to palpate a horse. It's a false positive. Immediately after she inspected, they walked out of the warm-up area into this outside arena. I'm going to inspect this horse with the proper technique, and then I'm going to see if I can get this horse moving by hitting that same nerve. Here we're palpating his tendons. We're on the posterior part of the foot. I'm using the flat, fat part of my thumb. Here we are beating on his feet. You can't make him move, but if I grab that nerve, he's going to move every time. Here we're going to go to the right front foot. We're going to palpate him the correct way. Using the flat part of our thumb, we're going to hit pretty hard. He's not going to react. There's the front part of the foot being palpated correctly with the flat part of your thumb. We'll go back and watch her do it again, where she gets her false positive. If you'll watch her when she pushes that nerve up against that collateral cartilage, that horse is going to react. Get in, zoomed in closer. There she's hitting it again. That's a very vascular area with two different nerves in there. She's going to use the end of her thumb, get him moving. Has nothing to do with any improper soring techniques. It's improper palpation techniques.
Just an example. Now, here's the one that really gets me. And this was done by a friend of mine and given to me. But I always like to go back to it because it is precious when a VMO, now this is a licensed veterinarian that works for the USDA, will say something like, well, there's a scar here even though it's only 2 or 3 cells thick. I couldn't believe that. But
when you can feel the roll of the top of it, that's a scar, even if it's only 2 or 3 cells thick.
See right there, you can see that, you know, it just...
That's a skin cell.
Yeah.
But I want you to look at what you compare it to, and he's saying that he can feel one that's only 2 or 3 cells thick. And as time went on, they brought in a lady named Caesar that, this is what got me. When you look at the foreign substances, can we throw them up there, just a list? I don't expect everybody to read these, but there's soap, there's sulfur, there's all kinds of different things in there that every breed uses. A lot of barns have sulfur water.
Yes.
But if they find any sulfur on your horse, that's a violation too. And it wouldn't be so bad, but they want it to be 1 part per million, which means if you give your horse a bath and you use soap and sulfur water, you better make sure that when you get done that the sulfur and all the soap is gone, because they're going to come after it 1 part per million. And if you to know what 1 part per million is, that it gets ridiculous. But these are some of the different products that you're not allowed to use.
Yeah.
That Jerry can't use at the barn on his horses because they are against the law when it comes to the HPA, when you're talking about the Tennessee walking horse, which now is going to apply to all these other breeds.
You know, I don't believe nobody was selling nothing that was against the law to use on an animal at a store.
Well, they shouldn't, but evidently they are, because the government says all those products are harmful to the horse.
Yeah.
So what are we supposed to do? Now, the saddlebred industry and some of these other industries think, well, the walking horse is god awful. Y'all seen the horses. Now, everything we're saying on here, it's 100% true. But the 1 part per million is coming your way. And we got a little clip that'll show you what 1 part per million is. Can we show that, CJ?
Does the USDA have a threshold list, or is it, if it shows up one part per million, is that going to test positive, and then that's a possibility of a foreign substance?
It goes by what the labs test for, and from the different.
Less than 1 part per million. Less than 1 part per million.
Less than 1 part per million. But the USDA does not have a list that is a threshold?
Are you using his list? His list said less than 1 part per million. If you're saying you're relying on the lab results, the lab technician there or the doctor said we're testing for less than 1 part per million. So we're assuming that's what you're taking his information, then the USDA will mirror that, and you're sending out a letter of warning for any trace element of less than 1 part per million.
Now, it is not 1 part per million, was that calibrated list.
Okay, and what are you testing for?
Okay.
What is your threshold that you're sending to the USDA? Is it less than 1 part per million? Is it 2? Is it 10? It's a simple question.
There is no lower limit threshold.
So there is no any
correct. A positive is a positive.
So what is the small? Let's put that in a number. Is the smallest limit trace, is that less than 1 part per million?
I would say yes.
Okay, that's what we want. So less than 1 part per million is the benchmark for somebody getting a letter of warning from the USDA to be guilty of being found with foreign substance. Yes or no? Well, she said she's relying on your data. Your data is less than 1 part per million.
And that is true. To get a letter of warning to have a foreign substance, yes.
Okay, less than 1 part per million.
And as also noted, we do have the prosecutor discretion to move forward in federal cases and moving forward in other things.
Dr. I understand that, we've been wrestling with that number for months, and like the senator said so well, sharing of information is critical for us to move forward. And thank you for sharing with us that less than 1 part per million.
Now, this is an example. She's talking about 1 part per million. 1 part per million. Now, that was Rachel Caesar that was doing that. And we've got some more stuff that we're going to be talking about, how the VMOs just took over the Horse Protection Act, and it was no longer something that was used to help the horse. It was a billy club for them to use on the industry.
Yeah, it felt like they rewrote themselves.
Yeah, well, it didn't come from them. The Humane Society had a lot of help in there, which was pretty obvious if you were in the walking horse industry and you got everything from the Humane Society and the USDA, you would start to see where they wasn't two separate things. They were both together as one. But first, you got to do your thing.
We'll be right back after these messages.
Giles Dunn is a leader in both cultured and lab-grown diamonds. Located at 234 North Jackson Street in Tullahoma, Tennessee, Giles Dunn is well known for his beautifully designed jewelry. From that special diamond for your special wedding day to the one that says I love you more, Giles Dunn is the place to shop if you want to say it with diamonds. Open 5 days a week and always ready to assist you in that one-in-a-lifetime purchase. To set an appointment for cultured or lab-grown diamond viewing, call 931-563-7800.
Hey Tennessee, Ross Chastain here, the guy who likes to smash watermelons on the front stretch at Nashville Superspeedway. But you know what I never smash? Safety rules. Racing's all about control, and the same goes for life on the road. So use your melon and don't mix drinking and driving. It's like trying to race with a busted engine. Be a pit crew hero, and if you've had a few, pass the keys to a sober friend, because we're all racing toward a safer Tennessee, and we want you there at the finish line.
Folks, this is where you send money to help in the legal fund to combat the new proposed rulemaking that the USDA released here a couple weeks ago. This is tax-deductible donation as fast as a 501c3, and be sure to put legal fund on your memo line, as this guarantees that your money goes exactly where you want it to go.
All right, now Jerry, we're going to go back in time, because everybody remembers at one time, if a horse was turned down, say it's Celebration, horse was turned down for this class, but he was also entered in 3 or 4 other classes, that same horse could be brought up at a later class.
Yes.
And it got to where far too often a horse would get turned down in Class A, brought back up for Class E, and he would pass the same inspections.
Yes.
So the government got tired of doing that, so they come up with, we'll solve the problem, there's no show back. If you get turned down the first day of Celebration, you can't show no more at Celebration. So that hurt the Celebration economically, because people wouldn't enter their horses much because they didn't know what the government was going to do.
Yes.
Well, it wouldn't be so bad, but now you experience this because you're a trainer. They decided, well, just to prove that we are right, we're going to give you a second opinion from another VMO. We're going to let the second VMO look at the horse, and we're not going to talk. We're just going to let him look and see what him find the same violation. Now, we both know what happened with that.
Oh, yes.
This is what happened. They couldn't agree on anything. It's a shame we couldn't get mics in there to where we could get it. But there's Reimer, who is over the USDA right now and in charge of all the inspections. He was getting overrode by Baker. Baker was getting overrode by Sutherland.
Yes.
Sutherland was getting overloaded by Reimer. It was like a little circle. So what did they do? Oh, we ain't gonna do that no more. That didn't work. So we're not going to go to that. Now after that, VMO was arguing. We would try to video them, and we got a lot of video. But then they decided that, hey, you can't video no more. So what did they do? Channel 5 comes down. They're going to video the inspections. And you would think that the USDA, being the USDA,
yeah.
Hey, yeah, we want to show how great we are. That wasn't what happened at all. This is what happened.
While in-house inspections were going on today, Celebration officials allowed us to shoot video of the process. But when we tried to get USDA's response to the Celebration's concerns during its inspections...
We're just trying to talk to Dr. Gibson or someone with the USDA.
Okay, well, let's go outside. That changed.
Could you have her quit filming until we get outside?
They escorted yes. Channel 5 out, would not let them video anything. They said, nope, we ain't having it, because they didn't want it. So what did we do? We continued to try to video. They wouldn't let us. They would stand in front of us, block us, and that's when...
Can I ask you to show me where the scar is that you
say that you found, please?
Sure. Once you put that away, you can.
Okay.
You need to leave the horse.
So no one's gonna show me where the scar is that they turned this horse down on?
You need to leave the inspection.
Now that one was, they were refusing to show where the scar was. We had different ones to where they would block the video and stand it in front of you to where you couldn't see. Like they made us, when we could video, they made us stand in the door outside, but then they positioned their employees in front of us to where we couldn't video. So I and the late Judge Matheny, he helped me get a law passed in the state of Tennessee that we could video inspections. And we was successful in getting that done as far as us going and videoing. So once we did this, we got it passed. On one weekend, we got it passed, and there was a horse show that weekend. It didn't go into effect until the following Monday. We were run out of the inspection area the Friday night that we got this done. And that was during the trainer show. However, once we got the bill passed, there was a show that came up over at the Ag Center where here come the police, or here come the BMOs. They taped off everything to where you could not video. So I did what any self-serving citizen, honest citizen would do. I called the police on them.
Yes.
And the police came and had a little talk with them about the right to video. So they're telling them, no, you can't. But it ended up that, yes, we did video. They were made to bring the horses up there to where we could get a good picture of them. And that was it. I think there's some audio on this, isn't there? Okay, I was thinking that the audio was on here, but we didn't. But he's explaining to Baker and Sutherland that if those women in there could video, that I could come in there and video.
Yeah.
Well, they didn't want me in there, so he gave them an ultimatum. And if we go back and pull up the video, the raw video, it would have the voice on it. He tells them that they've got, two choices. Either I'm coming in there or they bring the horse up there for me to video. So they decided that they'd bring the horse up there for me to video. But they had taped off the whole Ag Center just to keep people, just to be annoying,
yes,
really.
That's what
I mean,
was.
that's what they've got to. So that's it. But now, when you look at our horse and the way when it's inspected, here's a little bit of how the saddlebreds do when they're inspected. You see how he's yanking that foot everywhere? Well, with the Tennessee walking horse, he does not have to move just barely. Y'all seen the one where they was using the nerve to get him to move, to turn him down. He didn't move nothing like that.
And the thing of it is, them horses got to show.
Yeah.
If a walking horse would move like that, yeah, he don't get to show.
It'd been like so many. He was been barred, the trainer had been barred,
and everything else.
Then he'd gone on to another show and showed, and the trainer would serve a suspension.
Yep.
But here, y'all seen the palpating in the way it's supposed to be. Now, here is the way they try to find a scar. If they don't see a scar, this is how they try to create one. This is the parting of the hairs, is what I call it. Because they get down and they pull the hair apart, they scratch and they stretch. Eventually, you're going to make that horse move simply by doing that. But see, now here's an example. That horse barely moved in. He didn't show.
But you compare that to what you seen from the saddlebred,
Yes.
and you tell me what's, if that horse couldn't show and he moved just that little bit.
Yeah, but see what he's doing there? Pulling them hairs apart, just anything to where I can see and claim it's a violation. And this is what the saddlebreds need to realize. You're next.
And anyone knows with gloves on checking a horse.
I know.
I just like somebody doing your hair with gloves on and pulling, and they're going to pull a hair in it, and you're going to get some kind of response.
Well, that's what they're wanting, though, Jerry, is they're wanting a response. But if they have to pull hairs apart to find a scar, then there ain't no scar there. And one other, and I'm going to say this, and we've got numerous trainers. Anybody that's doubting me, they can call me. I will give them the trainer's name. I'm not going to put it out on TV. Some of them are no longer with us. They're deceased. But I know of trainers that have served as many as 4 years suspension on a scar rule on a horse. And the horse never missed a show.
You're right.
Became world champion, world grand champion, and still never received another violation. Yet that trainer lost 4 years of his livelihood because the VMO said that horse was scarred.
That's right.
Now here's another thing that we went through. The USDA decides they want the entry forms. They want all the information, and I filled out enough of them entry forms that I know the information they get. They get everything but your Social Security number. They get everything, your residence, your driver's license, not your driver's license, but your trainer's
license,
number. They get my registration number from my horse. They get all this. But they will write a ticket if the trainer or the custodian doesn't stand there and repeat all that to them. They say refusal to give information. Well, they already got the information. They use that to target horses. That's why they go up and they want every entry form so they know which horses to go after.
And that's my biggest thing, Jerry. I don't understand if the government comes there to check a horse, the information on that horse is on that back number. Why do they have to go before the show started and find out all horses that's showing?
They want to know which ones they're going to turn down.
That's right. And I mean, to me, that's not right. You should, if that horse have a violation when they check that horse, they should get it off that number right then. Don't go before the show and get information and get lists of horses that's showing different classes.
They want to know if he's ever had a violation in the past. That's what it's all about. They've got their database. Right here, now here's a good one. This right here was a text message sent by Rachel Caesar to the head DQP in Georgia when they was having the show in Perry. Demanding that horse, now here it is, who is your DQP at Conyers? Tim Hatfield or Ken Norton? Is everything okay? Heard that Honors is there. Don't surprise me much. That's where they live. I call them and tell them, check him close. Please do, because if he gets through, you guys will catch heck. Now, if he gets through, you guys will catch heck. In other words, I don't care what condition he's in. Now, here's a horse that they took to multiple universities and had checked for scars. All of them said he had no scars. It got so bad on this horse, and they was just gunning for him so bad that it took a court order telling them to leave the horse alone, to let him show. Now that's how bad he got, simply because they could not do it right. And I know this for a fact. I videoed one time, walked him all the way up, videoed everything that horse did. I videoed him getting him ready. I videoed him walking him up. As soon as he got up there, they popped the eye scan on him, said, oh, that's Honors. And then that was it. He was out. As soon as they said, that's Honors.
Yeah.
I have seen him pass. They did not realize that he had got in. And as soon as he come out, they get him then.
Yes.
So it wasn't, he was targeted. Plain and simple, he was targeted. That text message that was sent, it's just another. Now, here's something that really got me. Demography. Demography is supposed to be done in an enclosed environment to where there's nothing to interfere with it.
Yes.
But this is the way the government uses the demography, and they hold you up for it. Now, see all them jackets on out there? It's cool weather. When the later it got, the colder it got.
Yes.
And the more they used the tomography. So this is an example of how the walking horse industry has been abused by the USDA overreach of a good law. I mean, HPA is a good law.
Well, that's this same thing about the swabbing too.
I know.
And you got a lot of shows that you walk through grass.
Yep.
They get through old hay fields that people cut hay off of. They spray all kind of pesticides, all kind of different stuff on that. So you figure if you swab that horse and something would come on there that they don't show up what they supposed to have on it, you getting turned down.
That's what gets me. They do things that anybody that uses common sense could stand there and say, how are they doing this? And how do they think this is going to really work and be an honest way to do it? I just don't understand it. I tell you, we need to go to our sponsors and let them have their say for a few minutes, and then we got some other information.
That'll work.
That'll work?
That'll work.
Can we go to commercial?
Yes, we'll go to
Can we
commercial.
go right now?
Yeah, we'll go right now.
Tell CJ, don't tell me.
We'll be right back.
The Tennessee walking horse is rapidly becoming the horse of choice when selecting a great ride for the family. If you're looking for a smooth, easy ride on the trail that will take you through hills and streams or an obstacle course competition, the versatility of the Tennessee walking horse will stand out by showing its willingness to learn and its smooth, easy, steady gait through the course. If it's a competitive show horse you're looking for, the Tennessee walking horse is the perfect family horse by young and old. Whether it's flat shot or padded performance classes for an amateur adult or youth, a walking horse is the horse of choice. The Tennessee walking horse is perfect for every equestrian division. Also, remember one simple truth.
If you ride one today, you'll own one tomorrow. That's a fact.
Folks, this is where you send money to help in the legal fund to combat the new proposed rulemaking that the USDA released here a couple weeks ago. This is tax-deductible donation as fast as a 501c3, and be sure to put legal fund on your memo line, as this guarantees that your money goes exactly where you want it to go.
More of What a Horse coming up.
You did pretty good on that. I'm gonna, you know, we have a lot of fun here doing this show, but it's a lot of it that you look at and you wonder how a government-run division could do some of the things or stoop to some of the things that the USDA has stooped to. And I'm going to give you just one. A lady in this industry leads a horse up. They want you to stay 18 inches away from the horse. Is that right? Isn't that right? 18 to 24 inches that they want the lead there. Well, that leaves this horse's head free to, you know, move around. But here's the way one lady interacts when she's holding the horse. You can see she got her rainbow. Watch what she does when she gets down there. The horse. Now, she's hollering at Candy.
Yes.
Candy's telling her that, hey, I'm doing what you said to do, what I'm supposed to do. And this is the way this VMO acts. And I suggest that the quarter horse or the saddlebred people look this lady up and look up her credentials.
That's right.
Because this woman needs to be replaced. She needs to be out of the walking horse industry. Now, I'm gonna throw one more up here for you. Here's one, a horse she turned down, said that it was blistered.
Yeah.
Okay. That this horse was blistered to act better or whatever. Now, that's a field scar right below the knee. It's nowhere near the hoof, nowhere near the pasture.
Yeah.
But she said that that was what that was. That it was inflicted because you blistered the horse.
Yep.
Now, violations have got so bad that if they see, if a horse, the way our horse walks, a lot of times, it with his back end is dragged, this gravel, get up there and make a mark on the foot, that's a violation, HPA violation. If the tail set rubs the horse, that's a HPA violation.
Yes.
If the girth rubs the horse, it's an HPA violation. The breastband, HPA violation. All of these are HPA violations according to the USDA. So what I'm telling the saddlebred industry is all of this is coming your way. We're fighting them tooth and nail, and God knows I believe in justice, and I believe we will receive justice. But at the same time, all the time that the saddlebreds have pointed the finger at us, and they're not the only ones, other breeds have too. While we're taking care of ours, they're claiming that they've never done nothing. But then all of a sudden we find out that, yeah, that they have suspended them within the industry, never reported it to the USDA. And here's another thing, because I want this known. When the USDA shows up, they will send a VMO. But sometimes, and I've seen this, where you would get 2 VMOs, inspectors, 3 people to support them, and 7 or 8 armed guards, sometimes even 10 armed guards.
Yes.
They come in like gangbusters because we are supposed to be a violent, corrupt group of people. But in all honesty, I've been doing What a Horse over 22 years now. And I've never seen anybody be violent towards a VMO. But I've seen VMOs giving them threatening fingers.
Yes.
To horse people, or shoving reins back at them. But that's okay. They can treat us any way they want to. And once they get their way, and all breeds have to answer to the HPA like we do.
Yes.
And they stretch it like they do with us, then you're going to.
My biggest thing is they'll ask you questions and want you to answer them. But then when you turn around to ask them questions, where do you see the scar or whatever, they feel like they don't have to answer you.
No, they don't have to. They don't have to tell you.
Tell you.
That's the way they did that young lady when she was trying to get them to tell her where the scar was. They some of them they leave in timeout so long that the horses just give out.
You know, but that's my biggest thing of it. They want to ask you a question, ask you your name, and ask you who hauled the horse, who gonna show the horse and everything. But then when you turn around and ask them their name and their identification, they refuse to give it to you.
She's checking the hindquarters of the horse, the back feet of the horse. This is what gets me. I mean, it's one thing to inspect a horse, but to think that a horse will go through what they with no. I mean, sometimes I buy a new pair of shoes and I get a blister.
Yes.
But the USDA, they have reached the point that they will do anything or use anything. That's my problem. I don't know whether Reimer is listening to the Humane Society that much, because we all know that's who we fight. is the Humane Society. People don't want you to have shoes on a horse. They don't want you to do this. They don't want you. Kind of like what was the blacksmith, he was talking to us, that the lady said, well, my horse keeps going lame. He said, well, what are you doing? I said, well, nothing, we're riding him. I said, well, how are you shoeing him? Oh, I don't put no shoes on him. Well, ma'am, doesn't that tell you something?
That's how he's going lame. That's right.
You're riding him, he's going lame. That's why Indians had a bunch of ponies. They didn't have just one, they had a bunch of ponies. They knew. So the man is the one that shod the horse. I just think it's time that people stood up and faced the facts. And the facts are, the HPA is a good law. It's a real good law. It needs to be enforced the way laws are supposed to.
Yes.
And the people who are enforcing them need to enforce them the way they should be enforced, instead of creating a way that they can get their way.
Yes.
It's like me running out here and giving somebody, being a patrolman, and someone going 30, giving them a ticket and saying, nah, I don't care how, a ticket's 45 under 30.
Yeah.
I mean, sooner or later, you got to be honest. That's why I feel this, I'm gonna get this in. If they bring every VMO, every support person, and every security guard in and make them testify under oath to what they know, I bet all of them won't lie. I bet all of them won't sit there and tell a lie. You asked them, why do y'all want the entry forms when the entry form's not going to do you any good other than to target horses? Well, that's what it's for.
Yep.
And we know that. We know that's what they use it for. We know that's what the eye scan was for. But they want to say, no, we need it for this, which is just, it's just a lie. I just wish that, I hope that during the court hearings and things, that all this comes out. It'd give me if somebody would just sat there and say, yep, we did it. I mean, the truth's the truth.
Yep, the truth is the truth.
It'll set you free.
Yep.
But other than that, I'm going to wait and see what the courts do, because I do believe in them. But I do want to warn all of our saddlebred fans, and I do have some friends in the saddlebred industry that we talk quite often. They get it. I hope the rest of them get it eventually, because it's not fun what we go through. Have a good weekend.
And be safe.
By all means, be safe. Christmas coming. Santa's on his way.
Yep, you're right about that.
And I'm going to get something nice this year. I know I've been a good boy.
You sure?
That's what I tell my grandkids. I've been good. Wait.
Working out hard every day to be the best I can. I shifted to the right, shifted to the left, hunker down low and reach high to the sky. Got my rhythm down pat, so they say. I'm looking like a winner in every way. So when I hear somebody say, what a horse, I know they're talking about me, of course. And I'm gonna be in that winner's circle someday. Yeah, I'm a prime example of a Tennessee walker, a high-stepping, fast-walking Tennessee talker. I'm gonna be in that winner's circle someday. Peace, start talking.